okay? Down payments cannot be borrowed, okay? So if you borrowed money from a relative, they would provide you with a gift letter that you're helping to buy the property. If you pay your brother and sister back, do not tell me, do not tell the bank. That's my honest answer, you know. So they could, you know, but it technically has to be a gift. So don't come tell the bank that, you know, my brother is lending me the money, because that borrowed money doesn't count. It has to be a gift on that, you know, a gift letter according to the bank. What you work out on your side for families is, you know, it is up to you guys. But I can't know.
So you practically, it doesn't matter where money coming from, as long as it's paid for.
It does, well, the question was, it doesn't matter where, I'll get the question next. It doesn't matter where the money comes from. Actually, no, it does matter where it comes from. We're only gonna check we're only gonna check 2 months back, okay, if it goes into your bank account, okay? But if you came and there was $50,000 just in your bank, the bank will ask you where that came from if it's in your bank statement for the last 2 months, you know.
But
so
if it's, let's say, $100,000 more, will we question that? If I'll just bring the.
if you just brought $100,000 to the bank, yes, we would question that.
Okay, so I need to prove.
You need to have some kind of proof of where it came from.
That it's legal.
That it's legal, that it came from, you sold something,
The procedure.
some kind of thing.
Even if the money sitting there for 2 years?
No, if the money said, no. Remember, we're only checking the last 2 months. So if you have $100,000 in the bank, I'm not gonna ask how you got to $100,000. But if you have $10,000, and then, you know, June 12th, put $100,000 in, the bank's gonna ask, hey, where'd this $100,000 come from? You actually have time to get money into your bank account that no one's gonna ask you about for the next 4 months. You know, I'm helping you cheat here. Okay, let's go. Yes. Oh, sorry, her first. I asked her, sorry. Then you.
I'm not aware if you answered this question
Okay.
before.
She's not aware if I answered this?
Since there is a lot of UN people here,
Yes.
and their taxing situation is very different, are you aware of how, and do you know how to work with this?
I had one of the UN, well, actually worked in Haiti today. Each situation I have met with the underwriter about, with their specific way their people are paid. With the UN, people could be working in different countries for a while, come back. There's a lot of tricky situations with it, and we have counted that income in most cases, okay? But you would meet with me personally, and even today I have documents from one person who works in Haiti that I'm bringing to the office tomorrow just to check with, you know, the underwriter that I know will work on this loan to make sure this is okay with him too, before I issue that letter. And he's waiting, you know, so tomorrow I'm going to do that. So yes, a lot of people are in that boat with that, you know, some UN credit union and UN jobs as well, okay? Yes?
Being pre-approved gives you, you know, that you're gonna get a loan?
Yes. Okay, she said, if I give you the pre-approval, does that mean you're gonna get the loan? And yes, I mean, unless something very drastic happens. You know.
So there's no expiration for the pre-approval?
Yeah, the pre-approval I'm giving out for Island House is good until you close. We know that going in. Where a normal pre-approval would be like 3 months, you know, because you're giving it to, but that pre-approval gets passed around to like a realtor, to this person, that person. There's a deadline on it because it's just, we don't want those out there for forever, you know. But in this case, we know exactly the apartment, we know exactly the cost. There's no, you know, we know exactly the maintenance. We can, you know, so many things are set in stone that we'll give that approval out until it closes in the summer, knowing that.
So I can send the letter of agreement in March, knowing that I will be pre-approved.
Yes, if you get it in March, you'll know that you'll get the loan in the summer, or, you know, this month, or the people that have one already. Yes?
So a competitor of yours who is aware of the deal has a lock-in option after the 60 days for 1 point. So are you saying Amalgamated can't do that in your own discussion?
We don't, Since I do have a little time to, play with this.
So let's say more than a week or two, like you mentioned before.
Yeah, I know what you mean, like if it's gonna be an extra.
Like 2 months, let's say.
Right, yeah,
I'm being realistic. Can you lock in, can you try to find a way to lock in for our group? A, without a point,
right.
or B, just to be able to lock in, to give people some comfort, because it's so many balls are in the air that
There
should
is
be
a lot
really
of,
not.
that's a good question, because it's like, 60 days, you can extend it to 90, or, being extended, what's the cost, what's the procedure? Up until now, we have we've extended it for free lately. I mean, honestly, that's what we've done. I mean, I know that's true, that's true, and we've done that so far. I don't want to speak for, guys above my pay grade, because it's really like more their call. I will ask about that.
Yeah, on
we'll have
average.
more about this, just to say, hey, what happens when the 60 days runs out?
Yeah,
And
how far will
so
they
far
go
they've been
at no cost?
accommodating we haven't charged anyone to extend yet. In the, 3 years that we've done, we've been doing the 60+ days.
What's the longest you permitted to go past the 60 days?
I
for
hate
river
to
crossing?
say on camera, there was one guy
Shut
who
the
was,
camera off.
there was,
Let's
I
hear it.
know, I'm just kidding, there was one guy who was going through a divorce and his wife didn't show up for the closing 3 times. His ex-wife, wife/ex-wife, just to, stick it to him a little bit. We ended up extending his rate like 6 months, just as a courtesy because of the problem and whatever. I'm not promising that, the camera or anything else, okay?
90 days?
It's usually, it's locked indefinitely for 60, and then, can be extended to 90. Right now, I don't know what that cost would be, but I would pretty much guarantee you it's gonna be less than, a point, because that's, to me, is too much, to extend, especially for these loan
A
amounts.
point is 1%?
What?
A point is 1%?
A point's 1%. Yeah, she's saying that's their policy. I don't have that policy right now because we haven't come across
Can
that.
they do it because we are a group, not one person, we are like.
That's not gonna make a difference. They're gonna do it, yeah, usually they've just done it, and usually they've just done it, okay? But if they say, hey, we're gonna do it for, this group, then we gotta do it for every group weekly. So I'll have that more in hand to see like a specific thing. Another plus, okay, is that just because we start the process doesn't mean you have to lock in at that day. So you start in April, whatever, April 3rd, 5th, 10th. We start the process, you're getting your papers in. We don't have to lock it in that day. And usually by looking at the rates, I'll know if it's going up or down or not, okay? Because our rate that's been our rate right now our rate that's been our rate right now has been what, 3-4 weeks? Yeah, I mean, it's probably been 4 weeks at the same rate.
What is the rate now?
It'll be 3.75 probably for most people, or it could be, it depends on how much you put down, it could be 3.875, it could be 3.75, you could pay a little and get the 3.5. There's options of exactly what the rate is, okay?
You pay, if you put more, you get a higher rate?
No.
So that's what I don't understand, because if I put somebody putting 40%,
If someone's putting more down,
yeah.
it's a, when you meet with me, we'll talk about that, okay? Because it's a matrix, it's, your credit score, it's your, it's a lot of different factors, but that's the base rate is around 3.75. Yes, Green?
For the 2 years tax returns, we don't need official copies from the IRS, we can just use the ones we have.
No, you can use the ones you have, just make sure you sign them. Most people don't sign their copies,
If they're
just
electronic.
make sure they sign them when we get them, yes.
I was just going to say, for any that wants to hear and hearing a variety of different things, can you just clarify what's needed by March 31? And then in terms of papers and process?
Okay, March 31. Okay, March 30 by March 31, when you meet with me, I'd like to see income documents when you meet, okay? Like, bring pay stubs or W-2s or your taxes, okay?
For less year.
Well, yeah, for last year, I mean, if you've already done them, yes, but I mean, and something that would show, 2014, I'm hoping you can get a W-2 soon, or knowing if the year's gonna be a lot different, tell me how the year's going to be different, okay? Like in 2013. If 13 doesn't represent 14, tell me why. I don't need all those other things right then. I don't need 2 months bank statements. I don't need your other assets. I don't need your driver's license. I don't need those things until April, because you're going to give them the money. They're going to give you the contract. Then we're going to get all those paperwork together, and then April time frame, April, depending on when they give us the day they're going to close.
Well, I
That's will be.
understand it's the down payment and the contract that's due by March 31.
Yes, so that letter, like you'll get that letter from me before putting that money down, okay? Then we get that letter before, and then after that, hopefully by March 31st, they'll know when we can start to close, that's 2 more months, a little more than 2 more months. So hopefully they'll know when we're gonna close, and then we can know when to start, blocking things in, on our end. We can start the process, roughly 2 months before, or a little bit before that. Our red shirt, please.
I've heard that
He's heard that.
Amalgamated does not allow to borrow against equity once we buy the apartment. Is that true?
That Amalgamated doesn't allow you to borrow.
We have equity in the apartment.
Right, to do like another loan on top of your loan.
Yeah.
That is true right now. We're not letting people take a second loan on top of their initial mortgage right now. That is true.
What made you make that decision when you did it for River Cross? Is there something you know about the deal?
No, here's the difference. We don't let them take a second loan either, okay? What we do is they already own their places. So all the equity loans we did there were with people with no mortgages. So they own it, it's now worth $500,000, they have no mortgage, so they take out a $100,000 HELOC. But we don't, if they have a mortgage on it, we're not letting them take another loan on top of it.
But is there such a thing as a HELOC on currently owned property that isn't Island House? Not that this would necessarily make sense, I'm not thinking it through, but if you own other property, would you write a HELOC on the other property in order to buy this property?
I've done that with I've suggested that for some people. So, like some people that might have a different property that they could get money out of easier for whatever reason, they could put a second loan on that property or refinance their other property to get loans for this one.
If I have a loan of another bank, you mean you cannot give me the loan?
No. Okay.
Since
Right.
since you're getting all that many.
Since we're getting all that many people, yes. I know where this is going.
Are you gonna give us a preferential rate?
Yeah, what we have in the works is something that if people open up an account here at the bank to put, and put some money in it to get an 1/8 off the rate. And that's going through the approval process now, because it was requested just to be last time we did this, a couple of weeks back. I've already started that process of that becoming the case of getting the group an 1/8 off by, we want this to be working for everybody, by opening up an account here with X amount of money.
And what is that?
What's the X amount?
I don't know, okay? I don't know, but I am working, everything has to go through channels. I wish I could just, do everything I said. Everyone tells me yes in person to my face because I'm so big, and then they have these meetings and they come back and be like, oh, sorry, we'll give you like half of what you want. Yes.